Hello everyone! We've seen those, the Mounted Predator, the Quattle for the Wadrons and stuff. I see, no, but no, it's not been released yet. So those, there's gonna be a real full-blown Tactica very long because we received the boxes. So of course we're gonna go very much in detail, so expect this very soon. But what I wanted to cover, because I'm really not sure we'll get those at all, is first of all the Nords. And the Nords, has been a little bit of time that we've seen them getting some releases, and now it's actually available already now. They have the Golter Beast Pack and the Steel Chosen. And those are quite cool units. I'm just gonna, again, not make a deep dive, but just so you see what has been released. Probably they kind of synchronized with the Ashes and Faith new, like, third narrative campaign. We have only received the second narrative campaign and I'm gonna buy the first one. It's really cool content. As promised, we will do the first campaign, the Wargames versus 100 Kingdoms, on the channel. We'll make the scenarios as soon as we finish painting our 100 Kingdoms by Hyacinthe. And for the third one, it's Nords against Old Dominion, and the Nords receive those guys that we've been waiting for a long time. Let me put it in larger. It's Steel Chosen. They are like super elite infantry, and I have to be honest, I thought they would have a little bit more armor, but such is the way. They still look extremely cool. Like you can see, they are like semi-gods. They are very powerful infantry, and let's just skim over their data sheet really quickly. So it's medium infantry, can come relatively early at 180 points, so not I compared to Dragon Slayers, but they're not so high. They have 5 wounds, very good. Defense 2 air, evasion 1, so they're glass cannon. They do have 3 resolve, but it's not gonna save them. 6 attacks, okay, that starts to be quite a lot. With a Clash 3, so Clash 4 when they inspire, and Flurry, so full rerolls, so already quite good. Line Breaker, they ignore shields, and another thing. And the Bastion event, wow, really good. Already a good unit, a good elite unit that you were missing. They're exalted, so demigods, let's say. They can get a shield biter, which basically means that you can fight on death even after you activate it. So fine, and it gives it to the character. I guess it's nice. And the cool thing is that they are war brethren, so they do gain the tribal tactics of the character of the regiment, even if the character is not inside the regiment. So I've seen the tactics. They didn't seem to me very interesting when I skimmed over the latest version of the book of the Nords, but apparently they're quite nice. Like I have a Nord player in the gaming group that's going to be in our team, by the way, for the competition that is coming in Paris very soon, and he said they are interesting, those tactics. So good elite infantry, that they are much punchier than Huskarls, but they're not absolute glass cannon or missiles like the Berserks. They're good middle range infantry, and I'm very happy that the Nords have them. By the way, little advertising, if you can come to Paris in March, we have the largest tournament of Conquest in Europe. It's going to be a team tournament. It's going to be absolutely massive. There's going to be the game developers. Do come and subscribe, come to the Discords. They've already talked about it, so hoping to see you there. The other unit they are getting is the Golter Beast Pack for 50 euros or $50. By the way, this unit is 45, common for infantry. And so yeah, you get the Golter Beast Pack, so they're the same type like of Beast Pack like the Wolves we had seen before, except they are giant hogs. Without a rider, like they're just giant hogs. Like it's quite interesting to see those. I very like the design. Almost reminds me a little bit of this giant hog. Was it in Princess Mononoke? Like with the armor like this, kind of like mutated. It looks extremely cool. And those guys are Cavalry, obviously, even if they don't have a rider. Medium, 160 points. And you can imagine they're only movement 6, so not the fastest cavalry, but they're already defense 3, okay. 4 wounds, resolve 3, 5 attacks. They of course have impact 3 because they're cavalry. They have brutal impact 1 and line breaker, so it starts to be like quite like if my units would not like it at all if they get impacted by this guy. And they also have trample. So this is a unit, I mean, they have 5 attack at Clash 3, nothing to scoff at, but they are the type of unit that you are not feeling so bad doing a move charge, because even just 3 of those, they're gonna make 9 attacks at brutal impact 1, okay, and then 6 tramples automatic. So that's quite good, especially with line breaker on top. It does give to the Nords like the cavalry that they have been missing, and I'm wondering if you cannot convert it to have some Nords riders. Maybe it's gonna be a resin expansion at some point or something. So yeah, very interesting for the Nords, very happy for them. This is already available. There is also some nice narrative bundles to go with the narrative campaign. Maybe I should talk about the narrative campaign first. It's a pack like this, like you've seen us unboxing one of those packs. You got these, not very nice actually, infantry creatures. This looks like really like a necromancer from the old world a little bit. And this is just a very cool Viking, like I guess it's the leader of the Valkyries. I forgot the name. It's a Volva, voilà. And she's the faith bearer Raging Life, and Andrea Cruz is a Firebringer, which is an Archimandrite, which is probably the coolest Archimandrite I've ever seen. It looks so good. You're gonna have some infantry base, but especially the book with some custom regiments, some custom characters, custom rules, very interesting narrative scenarios. Like this is 60 euros or $60, yes, minus 10% as always with Love 10, but it's very good. And when you buy this, if you buy this, you have discounts on getting the STLs for the Nords, which of course is going to be a Drakkar, so you can print a few of those and really make a kind of like a landing, like they're carrying it around with them, which is something I think they have been doing like in history, carrying their Drakkars with them from one river to another, and some nice little terrain that you can get there. You know, if it's very cheap because you bought the bundle, very good. And the same for the Old Dominion, but much larger buildings. But I absolutely love this statue. Gives me almost Chaos Dwarves vibes, this statue, but it looks amazing. And those are just like very stylish. So good bundle, and if you want a bit more, they have this discount, Ashes and Faith. This is for the Nords, so you get this giant, but unfortunately the old giant, you if I can give you a tip, probably don't get this bundle, because this guy you can get from very cheap if there are players around you, because Nords have quite a few of those. It was in many packs and everything, and now there is a new Rising version. So yeah, maybe not the best. Valkyries, those are always good though. You want to make huge packs of those, and they go very well with the character, which is a Volva. And some Huskarls, which are brilliant miniatures. So those two packs are very good, and you kind of have this guy for free, which again, if you don't have one, it's a very good deal, this bundle, but maybe it's not the best deal. For the Nords though, like you have very good units. You have those Ghost, I completely forgot the name, the Jerez, and they have another version. One of them is mage shooty version, and one is teleporting melee one. Very cool ghosts. And you have bone golems. Maybe you have already a few. They were in the large starter packs, but if you don't have, bone golems are amazing. And you get some Praetorian guards that you can build as legionnaires. Again, very good deal, very good bundle. Not very exciting, it's nothing new, but damn, it's cool. There is also some holiday warbands. We'll not cover them one by one. It's basically the warband of 2023 and 2024 of First Blood, the skirmish version. We've already talked about these warbands. Just know that if you want both of them, it's at a discount of minus 20%, and you can get another minus 10%. Oh, yay. But is it great? It depends on the faction. I will not make you watch longer video just because we would analyze all of them. You can have a look at our older videos. I usually make a comparison between, like, is it good combo a year before bundle with the current year, and sometimes yes, sometimes no. And if the answer is yes and you want these units, it's a good deal. Finally, the thing that is very exciting and that has been revealed is the new miniatures for the 100 Kingdoms, and damn, there are some very cool stuff. We're gonna start with the Order of the Shield Errant, which used to be an officer, simply, and now it has been repackaged because there is gonna be a card. Yes, this command card, which you didn't have before, and it's why it's been repackaged. And still the same miniature, I don't think it's been changed at all, but now it is a character that you can play around. Very cool, very thematic, especially when you put it with the other knights that you can get. Those are the Sicarii. Basically warrior priests. Like, I'm not sure of the fluff, like I've been reading a little bit about it. They're sort of elite Praetorian Guard of the Emperor in Star Wars, basically, but they have these giants, so they look very cool. Not really my thing, I have to admit, but in red like this, or if you paint them in purple or all white, for example, they're gonna look amazing. All white might bring some bad vibes, I have to admit, but they are at $40/euros, so not that expensive for infantry. Usually it's more like 45. And if we take a look at their rules, they are medium infantry, 140 points, okay, quite cheap, 0 defense, okay, but 2 evasion, so they don't care at all about armor penetration, for sure. 4 wounds, resolve 4, it's quite huge actually, so this already makes them quite tanky-ish. 4 attacks each at clash 2 only, so a bit sad, but cleave 1, so quite good. Lethal demise, which has been like, it's also quite good. Fearless and devout, so they combo very well with the priests, of course. That's actually for 140. I mean, it's quite a non-negligible stat lines. 140 for this might feel a bit expensive, but they really combo well with the priests, and you can buff them to high heavens. It's not like with the Wargames where you look at the stats and that's what you get. Here you can combo them, not as much as Spires, but I mean, Resolve 4, Evasion 2, if you send them against, I don't know, Dragon Slayers, I'm not gonna have a good time at all, especially if you have Lethal Demise. So this is really elite infantry that the 100 Kingdoms were missing. Well, I mean, they had elite infantry, but not those guys with super high evasion and lethal demise, and I think they really unlock some new playstyle for their 100 Kingdoms. If we get those, I will give a much more detailed Tacticas. I'm not sure at all, but since it's a big release, maybe, you never know. But yeah, they look very cool. Who looks even cooler is the Crusading Noble Lord, and damn, just look at this. Like, do I even need to convince you that this guy is amazing? Before you even look at the stat line, it looks brilliant. It really reminds me of this guy from, it was in the Kingdom Under Fire, this old game. I played it on Xbox, and there was this main character, I think it was called like Gerald or something. Yeah, okay, so I found some pictures of Gerald, so it was this guy with, come on, you gotta admit there is a little bit of inspiration, especially when this guy is a Crusader Lord, and it was in Kingdoms Under Fire, the Crusaders, the game. So yeah, there is a little bit of inspiration. Maybe the real Crusaders had this kind of like fur behind, but yeah, I just for the reference, it makes me want to start a full Crusading army. And if you never played the Kingdom Under Fire, I really recommend it. It's on Steam. So this guy has actually not the same stat line as the Noble Lord. We have seen some teasers, but basically doesn't have shield, and he has some nice combo. It's also a priest guy, because it's a Crusader, so he's more on the side of the Faced Priest, and he's gonna have some combo with having the divine light shining upon him, etc. And of course, probably he's gonna be able to have this guy, the Archangel, $130, yes, but it's these giant, absolute masterpieces, kind of like the same as the Stoneforge for the Duegomes, or I don't know, the Apex Predator, these kind of giant miniatures. Just look at it. I wish, I have to say, I wish the Fallen Divinity looked more like this. But damn, this is absolutely insane. I love this miniature. It would make me start the 100 Kingdoms if not for this. I mean, they kind of brag about this, like, yeah, the Men-at-Arm is almost 5 centimeters. I don't know if you realize, but 5 centimeters, it takes space at home if you have an army. And they say this guy 30 centimeters with his sword. And I'm like, thanks for the warning, but I don't have space for this guy at home. I mean, it looks absolutely brilliant. Imagine this guy 30 centimeters. Okay, it's not this 30 centimeters, but it's gonna look very, very massive. And when you put it on the table, it is going to be brilliant. But damn, where do you store this? How do you transport this? I think you will have to magnetize this guy. But if you like it, like, just run for it. It's an incredibly cool miniatures, and they say that it's been kindled by the face of Theos, like the maker, and they have been sent by this god, literally. Like, the god was like, okay, you know what? I give you those giant archangels, and I thought it was like kind of like not semi-realistic, like low fantasy priest with some things and stuff, and then all of a sudden they have giant statues with divine will inside them, which is amazing. I mean, it looks like straight out of a God of War or some incredible design like this, and I love it. I just don't have any space for me. But for sure, it is the centerpiece that the 100 Kingdoms were missing. I knew for a while they were the faction without monsters and everything. Now they have this. Is it cool? Yes. Can you still make a realistic army with only some knights, some crossbowmen, some monster hunters and stuff? Yes. But if you want to make a full Theist priest with these giant idols and hordes of Sicarians at the feet, and peasants of course, well, that's quite cool as well. And of course some Crusaders, because we didn't see them yet separately, but they're already in the one-player starter set. There is some new infantry. And if you want to start 100 Kingdoms or you want those new miniatures, this is for sure your one-stop. You're gonna get for $160, let's say $145 if you use Love 10 about. You're gonna have this massive army with some stuff, some rule set, some dice, sure, great. But you especially get the new Commander Lord for 25 years. Already you get this guy. You get this old Noble Lord, like not the oldest one, but this guy. I have to say I kind of prefer the very old classic miniatures, but this is more dynamic with the cape and everything. So you have this normal Noble Lord as well, very good. For your mounted squires, it's going to be very efficient. You get a full unit of Sicarians, great. A full unit of Crusaders. So those infantry that of course will be joined by the commander, like the noble Crusading Lord, of course. And just look at this, like, can I zoom on those guys, like how cool they look? I mean, I hope we can equip them, all of them, with mace, like little hammers, like mace, and not those, okay, I have no idea the English word. In French it's fléau, it's this, what the hell, if you know the name of this in English, like this fléau, I would be very curious to know it in English. Anyway, you can have these guys with the commanding Crusading Lord, it's gonna be amazing. And it's not the end, you get those brand new men-at-arms. I know some people said like, yeah, men-at-arms, they were so ugly before. I was quite fine with them. I mean, I just like the design. The miniatures were not state of the art, but I like the design. And this is basically the exact same design, but with all the modern capacity of Parabellum. And look at this, like, I just want like 50 of those guys holding the main line. Looks brilliant. I love this very, very much. And last but not least, because they will help you very much, is those mounted squires. So you know them. I will not show you the data sheet again, but they are good light cavalry that you can use to hold the ground and just start to push the front lines. We don't have the data sheets yet for the Crusading infantry, for the Crusading Lord either, or for the Archangel. If we get any of those, of course you will be the first. Like, I will make a full video, obviously, so you have the tips on how to play each of these units, both in Lost Arguments of Kings, the massive battle games, and also in First Blood. Talking about this again very soon. There is going to be the full description for all the Wadrun new releases. It's been recorded, I just need to publish it. There is a cadencing. It's going to be out in the next 10 days. And finally, if you organize some painting sessions, you can have those nice things. And if you make some tournaments, then you have those very cool things. I actually own this little wooden thing because my first tournament I did not perform well. Well, it happens. And I do have this, and actually, note of advice, you cannot cook with this because the paint is toxic. You do have some nice miniatures, 3 preview miniatures. You especially have those guys, and I know that we've seen some previous characters like this Chinese looking guys, this little guy slash girl, that is from the Weaver Court. Like, it's really interesting to have those miniatures like way in advance, and they're probably going to be exclusive, which means when the full army of Cathayan soldiers arrive for Conquest, they're probably going to have a huge twist, but you're going to have a unique miniature that you will not find again later. You also have this pirate guy, like all of them look really, really cool. But this is $120, so this is not like, don't buy it just for you. Like, this is more like if you are tournament organizer and you want this, for sure this is good, and you have a lot of things to make people win, etc, etc, but don't buy it by yourself. Alright, I hope I kept it short enough. I just wanted to make like a little catch up on all the new releases. It was a little bit fast, and I just wanted to let you know what is being released on Conquest. For example, if you're a Dystopian Wars player, Armored Clash player, War Machine, whatever, and your only contact with Conquest is through my channel, like, because we try to cover a lot of different games, I wanted you to have a view on all the releases and not just on what I receive. Conquest is a very active game, it's an amazing game, and I hope it continues to rise in 2025. And by the way, as a little reminder, if you put a comment under this video, you gain a ticket and you might win when we make the end of the contest live in this summer. You might win an entire massive army of Dwegomes. Have a look at a couple of videos back in the past and you can see which army. You can also win an armada for Dystopian War. Like, just by typing a comment, you gain some tickets, and also join us in our Discords, link in the description, and we're gonna start to make at least one event per month where you can gain, like, if you participate, something like 3 or 5 tickets in one time. And of course it's gonna be fun. We're gonna try to play video games together, to have some maybe lore talking sessions. We will see. Like, I'm fully open to ideas. For now, we're for sure gonna play some video games all together, and if you have some games you would like to play with our community, for sure let us know in the comments. We might do some, I don't know, Dawn of War, maybe some Total War, multiplayer free-for-all. We've been talking about a lot of things. Anyway, thank you very much for having watched until the end. Do subscribe so you don't miss our full review. It's going to be quite a long video where we review all the new Wadruns miniatures. We make an unboxing and a deep dive Tactica on both Lost Arguments of Kings and First Blood, so subscribe for sure. All the YouTube things, comments of course, so you can have a chance to win, and let us know if you would like, if you do enjoy to see more Conquest. And again, I'm sorry for not having covered the Conquest news earlier, but now every time there's going to be a new wave of releases, for sure I will cover it. Thank you guys, take care of yourself, and until the next video, remember to keep things fair in love and war games. Bye!